Welcome to ARC Encounter, where we seek to grow and discover more. I'm your host, Marina, and I'm so excited to walk along with you on this journey. Today, we will encounter courage through a lens of community. I cannot wait to see what we'll learn and discover so we can redirect our path and lead ourselves to a better future. Our guide today, Casey Cox, will lead us through this journey where we may encounter a special VIP along the way. Now, let's get you started on the ARC Encounter with this quick video.
AHRK is the lifestyle path to better choices. It empowers us to live life to the fullest and paves the way for people like you and me to discover our unique purpose and passion. Choosing to walk the AHRK path invites transformation and growth in 5 key areas of life: leadership, communication, mindset, community, and lifestyle. As we dive into these lenses, they redirect our focus and guide us into a deeper understanding of where we're at today and where we're going tomorrow. This is ARC Encounter.
Welcome again to the ARC Encounter. My name's Casey and I'm your guide. What a joy it is to be together, especially when we recognize that those 5 lenses of the ARC path are changing our lives. And so the question for you today is, where are you headed? What are you looking for? And really what we're going to tackle is, how are you going to get there in the context of community? What role does community play in your life? Are they spurring you on, lifting you up, and challenging you to become a better person? Or does your community feel like a cage? Are they holding you back? Are they holding you down? Are they telling you you're not worth it, you're not going to make it? Well, no matter what your community is, today we are going to encounter courage. And courage is that ability to face fear and rise up, overcome, make a difference. It's a little bit different than bravery, because bravery sometimes doesn't even see fear. It's a recognition like, wow, that person is so brave, they didn't even hesitate. We're not talking about bravery today. We're talking about courage in the face of community. And what that comes together is an understanding that, you know what? It can be really hard to show up. It can be difficult to inspire people to believe in something as possible that they've never done before. But I know today on the ARC Encounter, you are going to encounter a VIP that's been a special friend of mine that's shown me that courage and community go hand in hand. So I welcome you to a very amazing VIP. This man, Jose, he's unarguable, he's unshakable, and he's undeniable. And as you know on the ARC Encounter, that just simply tells us that he is a VIP. Welcome, Jose.
Thank you so much for having me, Casey. I really appreciate it.
So glad you're here. And Jose, I do believe that you're a VIP. And the first thing we always introduce people to is their VIP. So, Jose, values, identity, and purpose. It's all inside of you. And today on the ARC Encounter, would you share a little bit of those with us? How do you encounter your values?
Absolutely. So for me, values really keep you aligned with who you are. And my top 4 values are family, growth, service, and health. So with family, to me, that represents love, unity, and keeping each other encouraged along the way. Growth represents learning, perseverance, and continuing on and pushing forward, like you said, showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then service is, I believe we are all gifted with specific skills, strengths, and God-given abilities. And it is our job to tap into those strengths and create an impact and make this world a better place. And health, I mean, come on, living a healthy life.
It's just who you are.
It's a win-win.
So, Jose, those values, you knew you were coming on the ARC Encounter today.
Yeah.
But only 1 week ago. And I asked you, hey, think about your values. Now, was this week the first week you ever poured into those values?
The first time I actually thought about it was the first time we actually met.
Okay, so that was a couple years, a year and a half
about
ago?
a year ago. But
yeah.
When you asked me that question, I had no idea. I was like, values? No one even considers thinking about their values. But after you asked me that, I was in dead silence for like 10 seconds. And that's when I actually took some time to really reflect on it and see what values and what my priorities are.
Love it. So if you just noticed that Jose just revealed a secret. About a year ago, he and I sat down, and the first time we got together, I wanted him to have an ARC Encounter. There was no ARC Encounter at the time, but I simply asked him, tell me about your values. And a year ago, he didn't have an answer. He had to reflect on it. And I don't know if you're sitting at wherever you're sitting right now, or walking, standing, driving, and you're going, I don't know my values. Take some time, because did you just hear Jose list off 4 core values, definitions of them, and why they impact his life? That's the beauty of an ARC encounter. And I'm hoping that today is your first ARC encounter, and you're going, I want to know my values. But Jose, the values, they stay inside of you.
Yeah.
Anybody can share the same 4 values, but it starts to emerge differently because of who you are, and that's where your identity is really tried, it's tested, it's where you become unshakable. Talk to me about your identity. How do you see that identity being something that is unique to you?
So I personally believe your identity comes through the values. I mean, and I would consider myself a very compassionate person who cares about others and their health. What else?
So let me pull that. Where are you having an opportunity to be compassionate to people about their health?
Leading by example. And
Okay.
Leading by example is...
I'm pulling an answer out. Where do you lead by example? You got a shirt on. What is it?
So AFA represents the community I'm a part of and I've created through my values and my past experiences.
We're going to stop. You created.
We created.
No, I wanted it to be a you, because it was a you. You're humble.
Yeah.
That's a value of yours, humility. And that's why you're having a hard time getting this to be something that is you. But Jose, you are a creative engine.
We all are.
See, he's humble.
We all are.
And you are a leader. And you are creating a system that is transforming lives.
Yeah.
So part of your identity is you're a health and fitness instructor. You are a mobilizer of people. You show up in people's lives and you give them hope.
Absolutely.
Those are part of your identity. I'm just going to help you, because you might be too generous to say, no, it's not about me. And yet that identity comes through, and you have purpose. Give me the big glossing purpose. So values are inside of you. Identity gets shown up on the outside of you. Purpose you're giving away. What do you hope to give away? How are you going to change the world?
I saw, just living my life, I saw there was gaps missing, and that's loneliness and living an unhealthy lifestyle. And with me, community brings a solution to that. Health, working out, exercising, athletics for all, like bringing all walks of life together. And pursuing a healthy lifestyle. But it's more than that. Fitness is just a tool for me. My big purpose, and I feel like this is what I'm destined here to do in this earth, is to bring people together. To bring people together no matter what. And ever since I was a kid, I knew who to invite specifically, because I knew they would get along so well. And when all walks of life can come together and create a beautiful memory, like there's nothing better than that.
And so, you know what, as we invite guests on here, maybe you want to be the next guest, but I don't know what it is that your purpose is, but our guests come on here to be undeniable. And what Jose just demonstrated is undeniably community is a passion for his. It's a lens he looks through in order to change the world. He wants to bring people together. So let's engage our ARC encounter today. That was just a Jose encounter. Our ARC encounter is going to bring together community and courage. And so, Jose, as you want to bring people together, is it easy?
For some reason, it's funny because my client actually told me about this. I had a gathering for my birthday, and one of them said, Jose, if I tried to do something like that, no one would show up. I'm like, I don't think so. But they're like, yes. But I think by you showing that you care for them, you love them, and you support them, and you're there all along the journey, they trust you. And when they see how much fun it is when they're surrounded by other people who care just as much, like, why wouldn't you want to show up? You know, they're bringing out the best in you. They're bringing out the best in you. So.
And so tell me about the courage it is that it takes for you to live this life of community. Are there days that it doesn't work? Are there times that you go, I just don't know if I can keep doing this. I don't know where it's going to come from.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, what do you have to acknowledge? What is real for you? Because the acknowledgement is really a choice of perception. It's a choice to recognize that there's something that I'm going to do or be a part of. It's a reality. And so, Jose, what reality are you creating, and what do you acknowledge, both what works for you and what is really working against you in this lens of courage and community?
Yeah. Well, let's be real. None of us wake up every single morning super amped up and just ready to go and pursue those goals. But when you have people waiting for you, knowing that they're there to support you, it's accountability. It all comes down to accountability and knowing your why. And yeah, when you have people there waiting for you, wanting to encourage them, lead them through a workout, educate them, you can't not show up for them because your family's there, they're waiting for you. So accountability. I mean, if you have other people waiting for you, you can't let them down.
So you're bringing accountability to community. Accountability can be scary. I mean, not everybody wants to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And courage is actually facing fear and then rising up and taking action in the face of that fear.
Yeah.
So as you lead community, how do you invite people to face that fear that I don't think I can do something? What is that? How do you acknowledge for them and with them?
It's challenging. I mean, but what happened with me in my personal story is I believe we all face fears as kids.
Yeah.
We all face fears, but why not see fear as a guide that's trying to get us to our highest self, our healthiest self, our better self? You know, instead of seeing fear as something that we should shy away from, what if fear is actually something that's trying to guide you?
Amen.
Yeah.
You're talking my language. And really, as we engage acknowledgement, what we have the choice here is to say, what am I going to look at when I see fear? Is it fuel for my fire, or is it something I need to run away from? And that's a gut level check of what you have to recognize. But it moves us along the AHRK path to encounter healing. And healing happens because we've been wounded, because we've learned, because we've failed. Failure in the face of courage is an opportunity to succeed. So as we engage healing, what we're basically doing is we're saying, I want to invite more opportunity to learn and grow in my life. I'm going to have to overcome some fears and move forward. So, Jose, as you engage community and courage, what are some things that keep people stuck? Where do people choose not to release fear, but it actually consumes them?
Before we start that,
yeah, go for it.
One thing I always say is we're only learning and growing, never failing. And that's, once I changed my perspective to that and realized that all the obstacles and challenges we face, God doesn't put these in our life to hurt us and create an impact, like damage us. He's actually doing that to prepare us with the knowledge and skill set and tools for something greater to come. And once we can change our perspective to that, your life is going to completely change. You're not going to make yourself the victim of everything that's happening. Instead, you're going to take that as a building block, as a stepping stone. And every breakdown has the opportunity to create a breakthrough.
So every opportunity has the opportunity from a breakdown to a breakthrough. And I would call that part of the healing engagement. That if you live in breakdown mode, you're not healing. You're almost like I'm stuck. So to move somebody from breakdown to breakthrough, they have to release some things. What do you do to inspire community to have courage?
What do I repeat that again, please?
Yeah. So you've got a community around you, whether it's your birthday party, whether it's your workout community, whether it's your family and your friends, all your values. They look at you and they go, "Oh yeah, Jose's special. Jose's different. Only Jose is going to make it in this world." Do you believe that?
No.
No, you don't believe that at all. You believe that everybody can go from where they're at to something greater.
Absolutely.
But in order to do that, they're going to have to release their fears of failure. Help me release some fears of failure. Talk to me about it.
To me, it all comes down to knowing your why. So, like, why are you waking up every day? Why are you choosing to do this? Why is living a healthy life important for you? How is that going to impact your life? How is that going to impact your career, your work? And how is that going to change your life? And when you start to ask those deep, meaningful questions and actually sit down, take some time to reflect, which I bet 90% of the people don't do. I never did that till like a year or two ago, where I actually sat down, I wrote down the top 3-4 experiences or challenges I had.
This is guidance for you right now. Sit down and write down the top 3 or 4 challenging experiences you've had.
Yeah, and it's going to be uncomfortable because who wants to go back to those experiences and remember those pains, those emotions that were happening during that time? But go back to them and really see how far you've come and what you've learned through those challenges and how you've overcome them. And once you observe and reflect, and then you compare it to where you are today, you're going to build courage. That's where courage,
And you've just demonstrated, because I knew it was in you. I've watched you do it. You acknowledged that at a present moment, I can take an account of where I've been.
Yeah.
And that acknowledgement means I don't have to agree that I'm limited. That acknowledgement of saying, hey, this is some things I overcame, recognizes that now I can make an agreement that I could overcome something that's coming at me next.
Yeah.
In your healing, you're beginning to rewrite the story of what you're going to do next time you face a challenge.
Absolutely.
Now we move from healing into restoration. And the restoration concept is really this building. I mean, you work out, we've worked out together. When you work out, you're putting your muscles in a place of strain. You're putting your body under discipline. And restoration is growing against a grain. It's recognizing that, you know what, I was designed for more, but I'm going to have to work for it. And so as we build, as we invest, as we grow, we have to have a picture of what I'm looking at. What do I want? So Jose, I'm going to challenge you here. You ready?
Go for it, Casey.
All right. I got permission. Paint a picture of Jose in 5 years.
In 5 years.
What is the restoration vision that's out there? And tie it to courage and community. That was the challenge part.
It's cool because I've actually done this activity before. It's kind of, you go back 5 years ago and you write down where you were, whether it was financially, your relationships, your health, whatever it was. And then you compare it to where you were today, but you use that, like I talked about previously, that allows you to realize like, wow, I've come such a long way, and that builds courage. Now from here, exactly what you did with me now, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So in 5 years, I actually see AFA, Athletics for All, as one of the, well, first of all, AFA stands for Athletics for All. I didn't mention that.
You're good.
It stands for Athletics for All.
It's part of your restoration.
Yeah. And why? Because it welcomes all walks of life, and we're a fitness, health, and wellness community, and our goal is to empower each other to feel, move, and become the best version of ourselves. And I see AFA as this community where it starts to impact the world and really brings out the best in everyone, whether it's through fitness, whether it's through building relationships, and tapping into our purpose in life. So, yeah.
So, why is it going to work? I mean,
yeah,
I'm pushing against it going,
why? You got to believe.
Amen.
You got to believe.
You recognize that it's going to take courage.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But courage is able to recognize, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And you've got a dream inside of you that says, I not only want to restore to the best version of me, I want to empower other people to find that same path, which is welcome to the AHRK Encounter. Everybody has to have somebody that sparks that dream inside of them, that awakens them to hope. And the only people that are going to awaken somebody at hope is somebody who's done it in themselves to come alive and go, yeah, I do have courage. And I loved how you use this term. It's going to build courage. We agree that courage can be built. And really what I look at is where courage is being built, adventure is being taken. And so you have an adventure in front of you that you say the next 5 years, I want to see what can take place. Have you ever had a setback before?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So tell me how in your story, your past challenges are leading you to greater hope today.
Yeah, so I'll share about two of them. One of them, I was born in Mexico, so coming here at the age of 5 was kind of challenging. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt unworthy, and I kind of underestimated myself and put everyone above me just because of that label that I put on myself, that no one even cared. It was just me in my own head. But thankfully, I got introduced to sports, and through sports, I found teamwork, community, and through sports, I found movement, which was fitness and nutrition. And through all that I was missing throughout my childhood, it's kind of what gave birth to AFA as the years went by. And then that was one. Number two was I dedicated my life to football. I made a promise to God, my mom, my dad, myself, that I would get a football scholarship. And that was going to be my way of giving back to my mom and dad for making that investment, not a sacrifice, investment, to come here to the U.S. and provide us and give us the opportunity to live a better life. So
Sounds like a lot of courage there. I'm just drawing that out.
Well, I mean,
and football became your community.
Yeah.
Courage became your choice. Keep going.
Luckily, I mean, we're a part of our environment. So waking up every single day, seeing my mom and dad work really hard, early morning, late nights to provide for us, like there's no way I'm not going to do my best every single day, you know? And unfortunately, due to me being undocumented, it's funny because at the moment I hated saying this, but now I can care less because it's part of my story.
You owned it as part of your identity. We go back to the VIP. Until you own your VIP, it's not yours.
It's so true, so true. Because I was so embarrassed about my story, but now I'm here to share it with the world, and I think our story is the biggest gift we have. But through playing football, I did so well. Got all-star, led the team, MVP, all-star game, and everything, you name it. And when coaches started coming and talk to me, blah, 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 you're the perfect fit for our team. They're like, okay, make sure you do your FAFSA financial aid. I was filling it out, and then it asked for my social security number. And if you're undocumented, you don't have one. And I remember calling my mom, like, Mom, I need my social security number. I need to do this financial aid so I can get a football scholarship and fulfill this goal and dream and promise that I made to everyone. And they're like, son, you don't have one. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know what that. So I told the coaches, and then everything kind of went downhill from there. So I went to community college, did the same thing, did so well in football, and to see all my teammates get offers, get scholarships, and me not be able to do that, I was kind of broken down, and I was mad. I was mad at God. I was mad at myself. I'm like, how can you work so hard for something and yet something you have no control of completely break you down and take it away from you? So.
But you didn't stay there.
Huh? No. I mean, I was broken for a minute, for about 2 years, but like you said,
I like how you just took it from a minute to 2 years. And if you've been in 2 years of brokenness, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not the end of your story. Restoration is a journey where you recognize this, as you're hearing Jose process this out loud, and put it all together and go, I had to choose. There's progress in my life. There's goals in my life. And that really moves us from that restoration camp, because you took the pain of loss and it became the fuel for your fire.
Exactly.
And it gave you something to fight for rather than fight against. And something that I would bring is that, and Jose is the model of this, especially for community, and wraps it around, circumstances aren't happening to you. They're happening for you.
Amen.
And as you take that and have a courageous engagement of it, it can actually lift you higher, faster, farther than you ever imagined. And that brings us to the kingdom encounter, where we go, is there really purpose in all of this? Is there purpose in my hardship? Is there purpose in this struggle? Is there purpose? And how do I celebrate it? How do I live out loud and touch the abundance and victory and success? And so, Jose, you have a community.
Yeah.
You have a business.
I am blessed.
You have people that are surrounding you, waiting for you to guide them. I mean, you got a social media presence.
Yeah.
Does it feel like a party?
Yeah, it feels like a party every single day. I mean, to be surrounded by so many amazing people who have different personalities, different careers, their kids and everything, but it doesn't matter who you are. When you're in community, there's something special about that. You know that there's other people. The beauty about community is you know that there's other people going through the similar struggles, yet the thing that happens in today's world is no one's scared to share their struggles. They try to make it seem like it's a perfect world, nothing's wrong with me. But when you surround with people who are open and vulnerable and share that, it makes you realize that, wow, I am not alone. I'm not the only one going through this. And that's what being a community is all about. You know, to me, community represents a group of individuals who share common values and are committed to very similar goals.
Sounds like values and some core identity, which leads to purpose, which invites you to an AHRK encounter. Welcome to the AHRK encounter. Today we encountered Jose, who's a star when it comes to community and courage, and his story is encouraging to us. I happen to think he's really unshakable. His values are rock solid. He's undeniably living out his purpose, and he is unarguable. As he just shared today, he's simply saying, look, I'm going to show up and be the best version of myself. And we invite you to do the same thing. There is so much available for you. And what Jose highlighted is join a community.
Right.
If you haven't really found your way into our ARC Encounter community, it's available for you. And right after this, Marina is going to tell you how to find it. So don't go away. Actually, come this way and jump into the ARC Encounter community with us.
Today we encountered Jose, who taught us that we are only learning and growing, never failing, and how we can shift breakdowns into breakthroughs. You can discover more at www.arcpath.com. Follow us on social media at ArcPath. You can also listen to our podcast featuring Bernard Bashira and Casey Cox, available on all listening platforms. You can download our Circles Now app to continue on a lifestyle of creating better choices for yourself. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to see you on the next one.